This episode is brought to you by Peacock. The new Peacock original documentary, Matthew Perry, A Hollywood Tragedy, dives deep into the beloved actor's rise to fame and his tragic death. 5 people, including Perry's personal assistant, 2 medical doctors, and an alleged Hollywood drug dealer known as the Ketamine Queen, were charged with conspiracy to illegally provide Perry with the ketamine. Explore the details of the case in this heartbreaking special, streaming now only on Peacock.
Today on CityCast Philly, it's the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about a shuffling in Philly courts. The Sixers, kind of have a chance. One of our favorite Eagles just got a big payday. And Philly's window to other worlds lost its signal. All that and more. It's Friday, March 7th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week is CityCast Philly executive producer Matt Katz. Hey, Matt.
What's up, Trenae?
Hey, and joining us is CityCast Philly producer Abby Fritz. Hey, Abby.
Good morning, Trenae.
Good morning. Lots to talk about. Let's get right into it. The Philadelphia Sheriff's Office is making headlines again because the office is doing something I've never seen before. They're really suffering from a shortage of staff. So according to the Inquirer, the probation department will now indefinitely be replacing in-person check-ins with virtual check-ins with people who are on probation or parole.
Yeah, because they don't have enough sheriff's deputies to staff
to handle
security at the probation department, so they're just going to have you check in virtually.
My question is, though, they've had a staffing issue for quite some time now.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is it getting worse? Is that why they've, moved to this point?
And is it a staffing shortage, or is it poor management of the staff? Right.
Well, it's all circled around, like you mentioned, security in the courtrooms.
Right.
So another part of this story is that the drug tests that would normally happen in person, you know, peeing in the cup, making sure, a person's not on drugs, that's temporarily suspended.
Yeah. So you can now technically be on drugs while on probation, which even if that's against the terms of your probation, because there's no way of checking to see if you're actually using. And it's all because these officers are in the courts instead of with the probation department.
Right. So the adult probation and parole department, they're moving some deputies to family court on Arch Street because there just isn't enough security at the courtrooms.
Yeah.
This is a really long history, long backstory. But back in September, the Inquirer reported that there were major security issues in our city courts, and that number of incidents had dramatically increased since Sheriff Rochelle Bilal took office in 2020 compared to the previous sheriff, Joel Williams. Fast forward in December of 2024, there was a court order filed by the Administrative Governing Board of the 1st Judicial District, which is basically a panel of judges who keeps an eye on, the operations of Philly courts. Well, they gave Sheriff Bilal 90 days to hire more staff. The deadline is next week, but the judges do say that security measures have improved since the order went out. But I don't think that means that there is more staff. It's just the reshuffling is happening.
Right. And I actually went to the sheriff's office website and I saw a link to a posting that said now hiring deputy sheriffs, no experience needed. So I thought that was intriguing, right? So I clicked on it. And there are no jobs actually currently available. So it's a dead link. So I'm not sure if that means they actually hired enough and they're going to be able to soon enough staff the probation department and the courts, or they actually are not hiring at all and they're continuing to have this staffing shortage.
It's kind of like, what is the impact of shifting deputies around? And what is that going to mean for everyone connected in the justice system?
Yeah. Right. Great questions. I mean, and this, as you said, Trenae, there's a long history of problems with the sheriff's office. And to be clear, people might not be aware of what sheriff's deputies do. They have a pretty limited purview. They secure the courts. They transport defendants to court. They serve warrants, and they oversee sheriff's cells. So if they're not securing the courthouses, then that's really like their main function. Then
The main
that's
gig,
a
yeah.
problem, right? And back in September, the Inquirer reported that security incidents inside these courts, like fights, assaults, threats, they are up threefold under this current sheriff. And the result of that is they're delaying hearings, trials, they're delaying sentencing because there's just not enough sheriff's deputies to secure the courtrooms. And that's what resulted in that order you were talking about, Trenae. The Judge Barbara McDermott had said, quote, the emotional cost of victims and defendants' families waiting for hours for their opportunities to give victim impact testimony or address the court is unquantifiable. And that's because they're delaying these things just because it's not safe to not have an officer in the court when you're dealing with these criminal matters. I should also note there's other like little small controversies that the sheriff has dealt with.
The Inquirer has been really following this story.
Yeah, she tried to double her $136,000 salary a few years ago and give raises to her office staff. The office allegedly lost 200 guns back in 2023.
Lost?
They like couldn't account for them.
Misplaced?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was according to the city comptroller. The sheriff denied that was true at the time. Anyway, we're going to keep following the story because if she doesn't follow this court order and fix the security issues, she could be fined. She could be locked up. And I would really love to see open city council hearing on this. Like bring the sheriff in, like get to the kind of the root of what's going on, talk to some of these judges, and maybe there should be some consideration about whether or not we need this separate office at all. Like, are there functions that non-law enforcement entities could do, that the police department could do? I think these are all questions that city council could consider at some point. Would you like to see a city council hearing on the sheriff's office? That'd be
Has
good
there been
TV.
one? Has there not
I mean,
been
I
one?
guess they come in during the normal budget hearings, I imagine. But I mean, in terms of like I've been
oversight.
I've been
is that
all
what you're
about,
saying?
Yeah. You know, you see Congress, whatever's the whims of some politician is whatever they're interested in at the time. A congressional committee this week brought in a bunch of mayors to grill them on immigration enforcement. I would love to see.
Which Parker
she
did not
dodged
have
that.
to go.
I
So she could have been there.
Yeah, but she's kind of kept under the radar when it comes to Trump criticism, so she might have avoided that firing line. But I would like to see city council to have a more prominent oversight role in terms of the functions of city government. I mean, they could hold hearings on whatever they want, just to like ask questions and to get to the bottom of some concerns or controversies.
And to be fair, I did read that the Inquirer did try to reach out to the sheriff and the department, but they didn't reach back out.
Right.
We've got more news after the break.
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other toppings, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Trenae, are you going to keep seeing these 76ers? I hear from you. I slacked you like last week. I'm like, oh my God, the Sixers are down 50 points. And you're like, I'm at the game.
Well, I
What,
mean,
the
the tickets are great.
Yeah, they cost like
Cheap.
3 cents now or whatever. So might as well.
The tickets are great. I'm sitting in the 100 sections, like I'm right there. You know, it's a nice thing to go to on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night.
It's still fun.
It's still fun.
I mean, just to catch people up,
Yeah.
the season's essentially over. There's no possibility of a
Well,
championship.
kind of.
I mean,
if they
Embiid
win
is-
every single game
Right.
until the rest of the season.
Joel Embiid is out for the season, so that's obviously our star center. So that is a massive loss. Plus, they are thousands of games under 500. But you're a little bit optimistic.
I am.
Why?
I am because just imagine if someone came to CityCast Philly every day and was like, "Man, you suck, put me in, coach," or like, "Trenae, you suck, put me in, Matt." Like, it would hurt.
Yeah,
it would hurt.
Well, would it hurt?
I feel like a lot. There's so much criticism to athletes, right? And then the counter is that, well, they make millions of dollars. I understand, but don't forget, we were literally singing this guy's praises last year because he was our MVP for the league.
Yes.
And now, then there were some issues in the beginning of the season. Tyrese Maxey, his teammate, pulled him to the side and had a conversation about, just gathering himself together. But it's maybe not going to work this season. And we lost McCain, rookie McCain, who was going to great player. It was great to see him, like the one game I went to.
Right.
So you're going the positive reinforcement route. Maybe if we're
yes,
we love you guys still, keep maybe they'll do a little better.
The Philly sports world has amnesia. We lose a couple of games, we think it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Okay, when I go to some of these games, I'm sitting next to these ultimate fans, okay? One guy is standing, screaming on the top of his lungs, telling Nick Nurse, "Put me in, coach, I'll play." One guy was cursing so much that the kids that were at the game were like, "Stop cursing."
I just think we are a little bit at the end of our rope.
We probably
Sixers
are,
fans, in
but
that
don't give up.
this has also been the process, right? Many years now, we've been promised this process would result in a championship. And the embodiment of the process was Joel Embiid. And unfortunately, it looks like his body has betrayed him, and he has played half of the games he's been eligible to play since he's been on the team and in the league.
And then we picked up another star, Paul George,
who has not performed well.
Said, "I'm sorry, Philly."
Yeah.
And he also kind of made a statement about kind of putting his podcast to the side and maybe focusing on basketball a little bit more.
Right.
Whoa, crazy idea.
But yeah.
I love the idea that there is always hope for a crazy comeback.
I mean,
how
they're in
fun would that
12th
be?
place
I understand.
in the Eastern Conference.
I know it's delusional, but it would be fun and it would be cute. So,
It would be
while
cute,
there's
yeah.
hope, we can have hope. And also these tickets are really low. I was seeing $2 tickets at one point.
But the service fees will kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, and also, Trenae, you've been going with your kids and stuff. If they had a comeback, you could be in 10 years when they kind of forgot about it, you could be yeah, we went to 4 games that season. Don't you remember?
No, seriously.
Don't ever say I didn't do anything for you. You remember that? Little did they know it cost $8, but it's
The other thing is, the worse they do, the better chance we have of a draft pick in a good draft pick.
Yeah.
So there's a positive that can come out of a terrible season.
Listen, I've been a Sixers fan since the AI days. And when we got to the finals and he was playing against Kobe Bryant, and I would watch those games on this little TV in my room. And then I was a part of the years where it was just
Yes.
we know we're bad.
Right.
We've been bad for some time now.
Right.
But I'm not giving up hope. I know it sounds crazy. I'm just not giving up hope.
In happier Philly sports news, we got Saquon Barkley here for maybe the rest of his career.
Thank God.
He got a 2-year, $41.2 million contract extension. He's going to be the highest paid running back in NFL history, as he should be. So kudos to Howie Roseman, best general manager in sports, for getting this done. By the way, Howie made some unusual news this week. Can I play you this weird clip from the McShay Show podcast?
Sure.
So Howie is asked about winning the Super Bowl for the second time and what the difference was between winning the first time and winning the second time. Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Is this PG rated or PG-13?
Whatever you want.
Yeah. So I'd say like the first one's almost like, can I say this?
Yes,
can we delete this? Is this live? You don't know what I'm saying? You don't know what I'm saying?
This is the best part. You can be you.
It's almost like the first time you have sex. You're so glad you had sex. It's not even the quality of it. The second time,
it's actually great.
The second time, it's like, wow, I could actually have fun and enjoy this. And so I would say...
Oh my God.
I mean...
So silly. So silly.
Of all the analogies... I mean, this city
I like that. That was
has
the
no
go-to.
chill, you know?
I have no chill.
There was so many other
There's
firsts
other
that
things
you
you
could
could
think
have
about.
came up with. Like, it's been some weeks since we won. Like, you had time to think about this answer.
Right. He's like, you know what? This is exactly what it was like.
Where's the media training? Come on.
Yeah, where's this? Shouldn't his therapist be having this conversation? I mean, this is a guy who does not have the mic in front of him after every game like the players and the coaches do, right? So like he's somebody that's I guess not used to just talking off the cuff. Howie, you don't have to say everything that's in your mind.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to have the mic now.
We've got more news after the break.
Watch the world's biggest tennis stars clash in the California desert at the BNP Paribas Open, live on Tennis Channel.
How do they get to these shots?
Tune in daily for exclusive first ball to last coverage from Indian Wells and witness all of the jaw-dropping action as the game's top men and women square off at one of the greatest events in sports. It's tennis magic you need to see to believe. The BNP Paribas Open, live on Tennis Channel and streaming on the Tennis Channel app.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. Introducing the all-new, all-terrain Honda Passport Trail Sport, the most off-road capable Honda Passport Honda has ever dreamt up. The Passport features increased ground clearance, roof rails on all trims, and available specially developed all-terrain tires. And you'll stay comfortable with tri-zone climate control and available features like heated and ventilated front seats and a panoramic moonroof. Learn more at honda.com/passport.
All right, guys, we've got to talk about our beloved Portal.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I don't know if you've seen it recently, but it is wrapped in a big blue tarp, and it has been wrapped for a while.
We can't have anything in the city.
I know.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Literally. And it just came out on Tuesday that a section of copper wire was stolen from the Portal in Center City.
Come on, give me a break.
Is it? Yeah. It's just like, what is going on, guys? And like, so for those that don't know, the Portal is this 24/7 unfiltered live stream. And it's like a big round circle with like a video screen in the middle, and it's in Love Park. And like the whole shtick is that you can see to other countries through it. So they've been kind of filtering through Ireland, Lithuania, and Poland since it came to Love Park. And it's this like way to connect different cities around the world. And like when it first came, like everybody was, you know, going to wave, and like Philly Elmo was there, and there's always people like, you know, saying hi. And so it's meant to be this connective, positive thing. And apparently back in February at like 6 p.m., someone decided to steal the wire from it. And first of all, my first thought when I heard about this was like, you really midday decided to take something from this thing that is actively live streaming video like 24/7, which is just a funny concept to me.
Sure.
Because like, I don't know, you might tattle on yourself a little.
Of all the things to steal, like,
yeah,
that's what you steal?
No,
It's
sad, isn't it?
there is precedent for like stealing copper wire. You can resell it. It's a metal that you can get money for.
Right.
So it's not uncommon, but it's just like, wow, they really went for the like live stream in one of like the most popular iconic parks in Philadelphia. And they were caught on surveillance footage. It seemed like one person cut the wire and then met up with 3 other people and were like carting it around in a trash can. One of those trash cans with wheels, like the big ones you can push, you know? But it's weird too because like this information was just released to the public like this week.
Yeah, they
this
initially
happened.
said that it was shut down for routine maintenance and upgrades. And then it was thought that it was maybe shut down in advance of the Super Bowl celebrations, maybe to protect it. But that wasn't the case at all.
No, someone just stole the wire. Need to plug it back in.
And then that means we weren't able to celebrate the Super Bowl in front of the portal, which is kind of disappointing.
That would have been fun. That would have been cool. But yeah, and Matt, you said an interesting thing when we first heard about this story about like it kind of having alignment with the hitchhiking robot.
Yeah, we decapitated the hitchhiking robot Hitchbot several years ago, as we've talked about on the show. And that's what it immediately reminded me of. Like, we got this cool thing and then we screwed it up. But this does seem to be more just straight up vandalism and less of like a gag. Everybody thought decapitating the robot was kind of funny. This isn't funny.
No, this is not funny.
Yeah, but so at this moment, the portal is still wrapped up in that blue tarp. But the director of the organization that runs the portals said they are hoping to get it back up and running before St. Patrick's Day because they have a couple events that they're planning for St. Patrick's Day. And so hopefully they will have that up and running, especially since Ireland is one of the other countries that is connected to the portal here in Philly. So
it's a shame. It's a real shame. Well, we can't see the portal this weekend. Matt, what are you doing this weekend?
I've got a bat mitzvah to attend at Rodef Shalom. Have you guys ever been there up on North Broad Street?
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Actually, I haven't been, but my Nabi has, my son.
You've rolled up in the front, dropped him off for a bar mitzvah?
Exactly. He's in that age range where it's all the bar mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs.
Same with my daughter. Yeah, so we're going to bat mitzvah there, friends of ours. It is such a spectacular building and sanctuary. The congregation itself dates to 1795. Wow. And then this building's about 100 years old. It's on the National Register of Historic Places, where I looked it up. They said it has Byzantine Revival and Art Deco influences, which is putting words to what I see, which is just kind of beauty inside. And there's also like artifacts in there. It's almost like a little museum.
Oh,
very cool, beautiful space. And the other big news in my life this weekend is my parents are moving from New York City to Philadelphia.
Wow.
Welcome. The Katz, right?
The Katzes, yeah.
The Katzes.
The Katzes are coming to town. So if there's Roberta and Richard are in the market for age-appropriate friends, 70s, 80s, although they can go down to the 60s. They're pretty hip. So if you're in the Rittenhouse area and want to go get a coffee at La Colombe with Roberta and Richard, they'll be in town this weekend.
Nice.
Moving in.
Wow.
Make sure they subscribe to CityCast Philly.
Oh, yeah. They already have that.
Okay, good. Abby, what are you doing this weekend?
So tonight is the last day of the East Passyunk Restaurant Week. I live about like a 20-minute walk away from there, and I've been wanting to go, so I'm going to go. And I was looking at all of the restaurants that were participating, and I recognized a name because Siani Cologne, the Hey Philly newsletter editor, our coworker, wrote about Da Vinci and You.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is this new restaurant that opened on East Passyunk, and it's this Italian-Asian fusion concept. And Trenae, we actually have been to that building before because we went to the restaurant that used to be there, which is Flannel.
Flannel was so good.
It was so good.
Good breakfast.
Great. It was so great. And the same owner of that restaurant has rebranded with this new concept and reopened. And so I think I'm going to give it a shot.
Italian Asian sounds like it could be just spectacular or horrid.
Yes, I agree.
It feels like it could go terribly wrong.
Yes.
Or it could just be the greatest thing you ever put in your mouth.
You know, I was looking because they have the Restaurant Week menu available on the website. And some of the things that stuck out to me is like, okay, I'm going to try it. we'll see how it goes. But like barbecue eel and arugula pizza, like I could see that working really good because I don't know if you've ever had like eel.
I've never had eel.
Oh, it's really good. Like the sauce they put on it, I think it's really good. Like it kind of gives like a teriyaki vibe almost because it's like a sweet sauce on top. Like the eel sauce is generally sweeter. So I could see how it would work well on a pizza, having like a little sweet meat on top of like the cheese and with the bitterness of the arugula. Like I see the vision.
Okay.
You know, I get the vision. And then also the sesame tiramisu tofu flan, which is just like a lot of words.
That sounds good.
That sounds very interesting. I love black sesame as like a flavor profile. And I love tiramisu. So I think it would be good. That one, you know, seems a little more easier to translate because I've seen a lot of different like types of tiramisu flavors, but also it being like at first when I read it I thought like the tofu flan was a separate thing, but no, it's all together. So that's the part where I'm like tiramisu, flan, tofu, black sesame.
Hey, if it's anything like flannel, it's going to be good.
So I'm interested. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, get out there tonight if you can. I've noticed towards the end of the night, if you don't have a reservation, it's easier to just kind of walk into places. So I've been able to at least get like bar seating. Yeah, in the past.
Well, speaking of eels and seafood,
What do you got?
I've got dinner reservations to First Daughter. This is a new oyster and seafood forward bar and restaurant from the Amina Hospitality Collection. This is their 5th restaurant.
That's so wild.
And I just saw it on Instagram, like, hey, we've got this thing coming out. Hey, it's open. I'm like, wait, what? So I'm excited.
And it feels like they've been opening a lot of restaurants lately. Like, I feel like Black Hen just opened.
Havana on the Parkway is now open.
Yeah.
I've got reservations to go there next weekend.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm excited. I want some oysters.
God, I love oysters.
That sounds delicious. Enjoy.
Well, Matt, Abby, thanks for chatting with me today.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Trenae.
See ya. After we recorded this episode, the National Transportation Safety Board released its preliminary findings on the plane crash in Northeast Philadelphia in January that left 7 dead and 24 injured. The report said the NTSB was able to recover the plane's black box. That device was found 8 feet underground due to the impact of the crash. But investigators said there's no audio because it's likely the device had not worked properly for several years. So we still don't have a cause for this crash, and the investigation is ongoing. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our producers this week are Abby Fritz, Natalie Rivera, Selena Say Reynolds, and Elizabeth Kama. Our Hey Philly newsletter editor is Siani Colon, and our host is me, Trenae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from all the kimonos. If you enjoyed this week of episodes, please tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Philly. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye.